Welcome back to Moonshine Performance. As you can see, we're back in the garage today, and we're going to be pulling this thing apart. We took it out, let's see, last weekend now, and it did not go as planned. Brett was driving the first time. He made the first pass out, and we started this thing up in the pits, and it sounded absolutely great, or started up in the staging lane, and we went to make the first pass. He went and did his burnout. And I was standing on the side recording, and I kind of noticed that the tires weren't really moving, and it was more of a shorter burnout than I would have liked. So that that kind of seemed off to me, but it's a brand new car. You don't know what it's going to do. So he backed up and staged and everything like that. Lit the first bulb, lit the second bulb, and he got up on the trans brake. And as soon as he came up on the trans brake, that thing kind of jumped up. It's about 55, I think, 5,500 RPM, and then it came back down a little bit right before he took off. So there's something going on there. I wonder if that's where we did the damage, and I'll get into that. And it came back down, and he let go of the trans brake and took off, and as you'll see in the video in a second, it didn't go anywhere. I mean, it moved, of course. It just did not sound, it did not look as nearly as good as it sounded. This motor was freaking roaring, and it wasn't doing it. So I'm going to put a clip of that in right now. Yeah, we took the wheels off this car, got it up in the air, and checked the brakes out. That one's rubbing a little bit, that caliper over there, so we took it off, and it didn't make any difference. This thing is still really hard to turn the wheels over. So we know it's not the brakes. That's not the issue. And I really wouldn't think it's the rear end, because there's nothing. We did that right. We know what we're doing there, I would say, but you can never be too sure. The second pass, I went out and started, did my burnout, and spun the tires, and they just, it was a little bit of a longer burnout, but it still didn't perform how Sloppy does, and Sloppy's got a lot less power. This thing should have had a little bit of a longer burnout. It just hooked up earlier. So I went up and stopped and put it in reverse and pressed the trans brake to try to come back, and it killed itself. It completely died. It shut off. Fire went out, as the announcer says. And I started backed up, staged. This time I went on. I didn't use the trans brake. I just got on the foot brake a little bit here and on the gas and kind of brought it up maybe to about 3-4 grand. I'd say about 4 grand, 3 grand. We can go back and check the video out, but here's that pass now and that burnout now. Part of our nostalgia.
Oh, got it. They finally got it in reverse, and the fire went out.
So after seeing all that, both of those passes and burnouts, we brought it in here. We're going to show you where we think the problem is coming from. We've got ratchet up here on the blower snout. We're going to turn the motor over with that, and I'm going to crawl under the car here, and I'm going to be quiet, and we're going to focus on the converter. All right, go ahead. Yeah. There is stuff flying around all up in there. So I'm going to take them bolts out. We're going to slide this motor forward. You're good. We're going to slide this motor forward. Right here. Slide everything forward. Get it out of the little collet thing right there. Or the yoke. And drop this tranny down and take a peek into that thing. All right, here Here's the mayhem. You can see all that gunk metal caked up on there. You can see what the color of the tranny fluid looks like in the converter. If you pull the stick, it doesn't look like that. It's red. See if I can get
pull the tranny apart, clean everything, inspect everything.
Have to pull everything apart here and make sure it's all healthy. Hopefully nothing got, hopefully nothing destroyed anything else, but that converter is got a whole bunch of gunk in there. Hang on a second.
Oh, I can't even turn it.
Wow. That's nuts.
Wow.
That's roached. Look, let's show that input shaft here. Bunch of gunk on there. Yeah, that's a lot of steel. That's not good at all. So we're going to figure out what's going on here. See if Midwest can do anything with that, because we'd like to keep it. See if they can do anything cheap with it, because that's where we got it. Was Midwest Converters.
$850 converters.
Yeah, up in Rockford, Illinois. We got a new one coming soon from Trans Specialties. Yeah, look at all that. The guy that we talked to, about all this stuff said that this is a stator tube I was telling you about. Here's the input shaft, and you should not be able to spin the stator tube. If you're able to spin the stator tube, your tranny is screwed up. But if the input shaft spins, obviously that's good. And then you stick the input shaft into the converter, and the whole damn thing spins. Of course, I don't have another hand to show you, but he couldn't spin it. So that should be able to spin freely inside of the converter, and it doesn't. This converter is roach. So hopefully they can do something with it or get us a new one, or I don't know. We'll figure it out. But for now, we're going to get this thing put back together and see you on race day. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Oh, we were going to end the video there, but we wanted to give you one last little clip.
Happened as soon as we let go of the trans brake.
That is awful. Thanks for watching.